Let me press the old record button. Right, so it's been a fucking long time, but welcome back to more Call of Cthulhu, Destiny in the Dark. We are on session 5. Does anyone remember what's been happening? I have got a prepared summary, but...
We did a chase.
We did do a chase. Very brief chase.
Caught him. Well, Silsford caught him.
Yeah, he did. Speedy Silsford, they call him.
Milton Butterfield died.
Yeah, that was a couple of sessions ago.
I remember we investigated outside, but I can't remember the conclusions we drew.
Okay, well, I'll go through, and we'll go through bit by bit, sort of slowly, because it's obviously, with a game like Cthulhu, taking a long break in the middle of a scenario can mean it's difficult to remember what was happening.
Did we get Josh out of the asylum?
You did not, yeah, that's what you're currently trying to
Oh,
do.
I remember that now. Sorry, carry on.
So, you were, as Anya hinted at, investigating the Danvers State Insane Asylum following Josh's unwilling incarceration. Well, he preferred himself, but now they're keeping him there against his will. During your visit, you met a very cold doctor, the head of the State Insane Asylum, a Dr. Berger. And after Tala had a chance to meet with Josh, Josh told Tala that Dr. Berger had threatened him with something that was supposedly meant to be happening on the new moon, which is due 2 days from now. During Tala's visit at the hospital, she also saw that a lot of the patients were drawing some kind of many-eyed toad-like dragon creature. You investigated the history of Danvers employees as you decided to sort of regroup and look into the history of the hospital and see what you could find out about the hospital before taking anything further. After looking into the history of the employees, you discovered that the previous superintendent was a man named Dr. William Shine. He was very well respected, and the asylum had a much better reputation under him. You also discovered that he was well travelled and believed in the knowledge of indigenous cultures, which was quite a rarity for this time period. He had installed, apparently, a stone disc with a strange sign on it that, after you found personal journals from Dr. Shine, you could see that he was very insistent that it not be removed from its resting place upon Hat Horn Hill. But further investigation proved that 8 years ago or so, that there was an amphitheatre built on the site of this stone disc, where apparently it was broken up and removed under the supervision of Andrew McBride, a former worker and now resident of Danvers, that Tala believes that she saw, and that Josh himself recommended that he may be someone useful. One avenue you have yet to seek out, that you were planning to, that I think Kieran alluded to in the previous session after I listened to it, was that you could investigate the company that McBride was working for, the company that built the amphitheatre, to see if there's any more information that they might have access to. You also chose to research the history of Hathorn Hill itself, which you discovered was named after Judge John Hathorn himself, one of the lead magistrates during the Salem witch trials, an Anya favourite. Supposedly, he removed a similar stone disc from the hill that was revered by native peoples there who claimed it came from ones who came from the sky and stopped evil spirits. All record of this particular disc have gone from history as far as you are aware. You also gained access to the floor plans of Danvers, should you try to plan an escape attempt, which is in the Discord chat. And finally, whilst researching in one of the public libraries, you noticed you were being stalked by an employee of Danvers, a orderly in street clothing. He, much to Osdred / Kieran's anger, he vandalised Joe's car with a painting of the same dragon creature as as I've described Tala spotting being painted before. You managed to chase down this man as a sprint broke out, and the Speedy Silsford, as he's now known as, quickly chased the man down and managed to bring him to the floor, and you began an interrogation where you took a Marcus O'Malley to a local pizza joint, and he agreed to help you if you gave him $100, which you did. He seemed very frightened of Dr. Berger in particular. Now, you find yourselves regrouped. Let me move the page just open to the investigation page. So you find yourselves regrouped now with Marcus O'Malley at your call. Perhaps more information might be useful from Marcus, or perhaps a different line of approach is worth taking. Like I said, investigating the construction company that built the amphitheatre, or perhaps just simply planning an escape plan with the information you've already got. Whatever you decide to do, the choice is yours. But what would you like to do?
Seeing as I said it before, investigating anything to do with the construction company would be a good idea. To see if we can find any secrets around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
how long do we have? Are we 2 full days away?
So
from
no, yes, you're at the end of the first day, so it's pretty late now. Actually, it's probably be getting maybe about 7 p.m. I'll say 7:30 maybe. It was more later into the evening as you found this Marcus O'Malley and chased him down in the twilight of the street.
We've got him now, right?
You do have him with you, yes. Tala and Randolph have paid him off $100 between them.
$100 worth of pizza.
Perhaps.
So what questions did we ask them already?
You did not. No, we ended the session before you asked any pertinent questions. I think you had some in mind at the time. But it has been a while. So, but obviously, talk aloud, talk in a meta sense if you want, discuss how to tackle what questions. You don't have to play it all out in character straight away. You can. It's been a while, so you can discuss your approach first, and then we can get to the role-playing side of it.
Do we know why he's scared of Dr. Berger at the moment?
I think he's been pretty cagey on it.
He has been pretty cagey, yeah.
Okay.
But that was before the $100.
True.
So yeah, I'd like to get to the bottom of that more.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he knows anything about the staff there, what the staff rotas are, whether there's times when the place is less guarded or more guarded.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how obvious we want to be with our questioning. He's meant to be taking his $100 and fucking off, if I remember correctly.
That is true, yes.
So hopefully you won't have any qualms.
Talk about the monster that they're drawing, if he knows anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so which question would you like to start with first?
I think burgers, pretty crucial.
Mm-hmm. How does Randolph phrase the question?
Now that he's got his $100, Randolph would be quite straight with him, I think. Be along the lines of, seeing as this is just a prelude to your wonderful new adventure off on the road, perhaps you can make sure your side of the bargain is held up as much as possible. You've said you're scared of Dr. Berger. We've had the pleasure ourselves, but I'd be most intrigued to know why he's cultivated, or how he's cultivated a fear amongst his staff.
He kind of looks down at his feet. You can still even... He's still nervous discussing Dr. Berger himself. He kind of looks down and says, Dr. Berger, he was always a strict man. Expected a lot of his employees, but, well, over the years, he got a bit of a reputation. He don't sleep much. None of us do, really. I can't remember the last time I slept more than an hour, maybe 2 at best. Dr. Berger, he's got a funny way of being. I'm sorry, I don't know how to describe it. He's got a presence about him. And he kind of goes quiet.
Yeah. Would it be would it be fair to say that even on the road you will see, this is where I'm trying to draw a line. An employee scared of an authority, a boss, that's par for the course. You're worried for your job, your livelihood, but you're about to take a trip, so none of that should really matter to you, which leads me to thinking that you're worried about him for more than just the professional realms. Is he a violent man?
Do me a persuasion check, if you would.
Character sheet. Persuade.
Failure. He looks down at his feet and he says, I don't know, he's a strict man and he expects a lot of his staff, and I don't know. I've told you everything I know.
Well, seeing as you're kindly moving the conversation on to the staff, what do you think of your colleagues? How many of you are there up there working regularly?
I mean, in total is about 12, but we work different shifts, so usually about 8 of us on staff at any one time.
And would you consider them friends, good people, bad people?
I don't have much of a relationship with any of them. There's one man, Stephen Morley. He, we sometimes used to get lunch together. He started getting these awful headaches. A lot of us did, myself included. Just, he thought it was just, stress of the job or whatnot. But he told me he was having these strange dreams. Started with Dr. Berger in the dreams themselves, but then again he goes quiet. Stupid. It's nothing.
And is friendly old Stephen still working the asylum?
Yeah, he is.
Why do you think your dreams are stupid? You got nothing to lose. You're about to take a trip out of here. We're looking for any information we can get, as stupid as you might think it is.
Do a persuade check with a bonus die for the last little bit you said.
Ooh. Hup.
Hard success.
Oh!
Do the bonus just to see if you get even better. No. Hard success. Okay. It's just stress, you know. It's a hard job. I told you some of the stuff I've seen. I've seen a man gouge his own eyes out. I've seen worse than that. Sometimes the patients they say all kind of stuff. It gets in your head, right? And then Stephen, he started to talk about seeing some kind of reptile in his head. A huge thing when he slept. It slithered around. He said he couldn't quite see it, like you were up close in one of them zoos, and you were looking at like the body of one of those big snakes they got in there, and it was slithering right by the glass, but like that, like you were pressed up against the glass, and he could see it, and it had eyes all along its body. It's it's just a nightmare, but what really scared me was that a couple days previous, he told me, and he's kind of like choking up a bit as he says this. You can see like his eyes are welling up as he says it, and he's getting sort of that kind of puffiness that people get when they're on the verge of crying, and he just sort of says, I had the same dream a couple of nights before. I didn't tell nobody.
Well, hey, strange things can happen sometimes. We're working together, maybe somebody said something or showed something and you both saw it. It could be all sorts of things. There's no need to worry yourself. This is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. You're doing real good. Real good.
He actually nods to that, and you can tell that he probably has taken a liking to you, probably the most, Randolph. Your charming nature. You got away with words with people. He says, yeah. The patients, they've been drawing weird stuff. Dr. Berger, he was the one who showed them it, though. He told me to paint it on your friend's car. I don't know why. He's like I said, he'd been acting weird. He's a strange man.
He certainly sounds it.
I think maybe that's where the dreams came from. It's just stress. I don't know, maybe he's trying some kind of new experimental therapy technique. They do all kinds, they shock their brains and all that up there. It's probably...
Who knows? Who knows with these shrinks?
Yeah.
The thing you drew on the car, is that the same as the thing you saw? A snake, lots of eyes.
I don't know, similar. The eyes, definitely. I don't know. It's just a dream. It was just a dream, a nightmare. I'm just stressed, so I need to get out of this godforsaken city.
Yeah, you're nearly there. Meta, what else did we want to ask him?
Anything about if they saw any, I don't know, like clothes. If it's a cult, they might have some sort of robe they wear. Like maybe the guy wore some weird shit.
Okay.
Don't know how helpful that is.
Did any of your colleagues seem closer to Dr. Berger than the others? Anyone who was like a teacher's pet?
Well, there's Paul.
Paul.
Yeah, he's another orderly. Paul Bragg is his last name. He's probably he's sort of my supervisor. If Dr. Berger's the sort of head honcho, then he's the sort of orderly supervisor.
And did he act very strange at all? Ever see him do anything weird? Anything that made you
Not really.
raise an eyebrow?
He's just he's a bit of a drunk. I think I've seen him drunk once on shift. I didn't say nothing. I mean, like I said, stressful job. We've all got our vices.
Sure. Where's he like to drink?
Well, he doesn't drink. I don't know. Maybe he goes down one of those, the speakeasies. He sort of looks around. He's trying to keep quiet. Obviously, prohibition.
Yeah. It's just us here at the table.
I know. He just he had a flask.
Huh.
I think that's what I saw him drinking from.
To know. Anything else spring to mind? Just in between the normal stress, the job thing, something that made you feel, something that seemed unusual or made you feel uncomfortable? Anything, any objects or things left out? Any strange experiments that the good doctor wanted to run on the patient?
Roll a luck check.
Oh god. Haja! Nope. My 7 luck.
I haven't seen anything. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's alright. We're just asking questions. You're doing real good. Anything from anybody else? Any questions?
I mean, we've got plenty of questions. I just don't think he will know them. Is there
Yeah.
anything? Just trying to think.
Randy would ask about like specifics of shift change timings and things like that.
Yeah, I won't necessarily play that in character. He would say that they change. They do 10-hour shifts with like a crossover. So it's like one shift would start at 7 a.m. and then end at what would it be, 5 p.m. and the others would start at 5 and then finish at I can't think of numbers, but they sort of break it up.
There'd be some overlap.
There'd be a little bit of overlap, yeah.
Does Dr. Berger encourage the patients to draw this creature? And if they do, does he react to that? Does he send them anywhere? Is there a particular room, perhaps, that they go to?
Does Randolph ask that question?
Yeah, definitely.
He started getting the patients drawing it one day. He showed him it and then kind of shakes his head again and he's like, it's really weird though, like I usually stand in on most of Dr. Berger's sessions with the group patients, and well, you got the low security wards and then you got the high ones, and the high ones, they're like your friend, or kept separate on their own. They risked it themselves and others. We got some less high security ones in communal wards. And I remember him. He showed a session when he showed them the picture. And then I saw one of the high security patients drawing it. He wasn't there. Maybe Dr. Berger had a separate session with him. But I've been to most of them and whatnot. I don't know, maybe I wasn't working, maybe I was home sleeping. I don't know if that helps, sorry.
That's alright. Seeing as you're putting this place behind you, I don't suppose you have a set of keys or anything like that.
He shakes his head and says, we keep all keys on site. I put them back when I leave.
And where would that be?
That would be in the no, I just need to check the map.
Mm-hmm.
It is the where is it? It would be in the business offices, so number 5 in the central building. Yeah, so it would be, if you look at the map, it would be sort of that top right of the central building. He described that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'd be most helpful.
Can I go?
Was that $100 worth?
Well, we ain't getting it back off him unless we want to bushwhack him on the way out.
Does he know if Dr. Berger has family we could talk to?
Randy would ask that. Any connections to Dr. Berger? Or is he as high and mighty as he seems? Lofty?
I'm pretty sure he's a bachelor. I don't know of any parents and such. Sorry. Keeps things pretty professional.
Is there any remnant of the former asylum manager, Dr. Shine? Is there anything? Did he have like an office that's been untouched, or any prior documents we could sneak in and look at? Because Dr. Shine was quite important, because he knew like he knew about the disc and things, he knew all the magic and stuff. So kind of need to know more about that guy.
Yeah.
He worked out of the same superintendent's office that Dr. Berger does. I don't know an awful lot about him. He was sort of before my time.
Fair enough. I can't think of anything else. Not that this guy would know.
Yeah. Released! Be free, my child! Except Randy doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Randy would shake his hand, offer him a cigarette, pat him on the back as he heads off.
He'd take one and he would make his way out of the diner in quite a hurried look and looking around over his shoulder in a kind of slightly nervous disposition. And leaves the diner, leaving the rest of you. Randolph and Tala inside, whilst Oggy and Joe have been tending to his car.
Yeah, my car. Okay.
But you reconvene after a short time.
Yeah, Randy would share everything.
Mm-hmm.
Gave us some little tidbits, but plenty left to guess at.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But
What was Zoggy's idea?
To go to wherever it is and try and find some plans so we can work out if there's any good way into the building. Like if we are going to try an escape attempt.
You do have a plan of the hospital that you got already.
Okay.
It's in the Discord. Call of Cthulhu text chat if you need it.
Maybe well, I guess you'd want to go deep, deeper to see if there's anything built that just doesn't go anywhere because it didn't need it anymore. If there's anything that got broken that had to be fixed, so like weak points or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, you could go back to the town hall. Perhaps it would be closed at this time of day, if you wanted to try and look for something along those lines.
Yeah, I think last time he went, didn't he go in by pretending he was a photographer? Maybe it's not worth it though.
Might be.
Yeah, he if it's the same woman working on the desk, he would try the same thing, being like, "Oh, I didn't get exactly what I needed. Can I go back in?" sort of thing.
Yeah, you'd have to go back tomorrow though. Like I said, it was at the town hall would be closed for the day. Actually, I think it was the hospital you went to took the pictures at, if I remember correctly, where you got the information about Dr. Shine. So actually, I think it was slightly different at the town hall. Can't remember exactly what you did there. I don't think you necessarily had to convince anyone to get it. It was just a case of searching for the information.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, it's closed for tonight, so you can go back tomorrow and see if you can find any new information.
yeah.
So I think we need to find out more about Dr. Shine, the former guy. See if we can find any of the information that he found about, like the disc. Some of them, because it was like, I can't remember exactly, but it was like spells I think he used against the entity. I can't remember.
You weren't, from what I remember, you weren't, it was never really stated anything spells or anything like that. All you know is that there was some sort of disc that Dr. Shine claimed had some kind of like warding effect.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got the information that you linked with the disc that was supposedly there from the native peoples of Hathorn Hill that you did note about Judge John Hathorn, and a bit of information you discovered about him was that when he removed the disc, he sort of became like more fervently into the that's when he sort of committed all the atrocities after with the witch trials. That was sort of after he removed the disc, supposedly.
Yeah, and then Dr. Shine put it back.
He put a disc back, or something, because there was mention in the information about Judge John Hathorn that the disc back then supposedly fell in. That no one knows what happened to it. It's lost to history. But you specifically know that with Dr. Shine's disc, that it was broken when they built the amphitheatre.
Yeah.
And you
by the current guy, Berger.
Yes, Dr. Berger had the amphitheatre constructed, and you also knew that Dr. Shine did actually tell Dr. Berger not to disrupt the disc, according to his journals that you found in the hospital, thanks to Oggy's agreeing to put that woman and the receptionist in the papers, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was it.
So the disc is destroyed, so we can't exactly just put it back, so we can't solve it that way. Um, what can we do without the bloody disc though? I don't know.
I mean, Randy is a very practical-minded guy, and he hasn't actually seen any of this
Oh yeah, true.
heebie-jeebie stuff. So in his mind, he's just standing there smoking a cigarette and being like, right, we need to think about, like, how much do we care about this asylum? Because we could set one half on fire and then in the panic go and get Josh out.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Like,
idea.
how much damage are we willing to do? Or we could wait for this burger guy to go head home and jump him. I ain't a violent guy, but this guy sounds like a piece of work.
Yeah. The fire could kill a lot of people. I don't know how much I like that. But if it's the only way.
Well, not at all. And that's fair. I just want I want to get a feel for what kind of thing we're talking about here. If we're restricted to polite means, or if we're feeling a little more risky or deceptive or forceful, where I'm still a bit of an acquaintance for you all. I like to know how my business associates think. As far as I can tell, this burger's a bit of an asshat, and I ain't got no love for the high and mighty strutting around and putting their staff and their people with issues through bad times, so...
Don't know.
If something bad's gonna happen in a couple of days, then maybe we need to start thinking in terms of more drastic measures. That's all I'm saying.
Indeed.
Difficult to do.
People are seeing stuff and having nightmares and all that. Maybe he's dosing the water supply or sprinkling something in their morning bacon and eggs.
For they could actually be seeing the monster that we saw. Maybe. There's a tentacle in the sink, remember?
Well, I mean, I remember it being mentioned, but I just kind of assumed we were all on the same page that was just a trick of the light or something, right?
Maybe alright. I do hope you're right, anyway.
Yeah, you two remember the water at the lake had a strange sort of blue tint to it. Perhaps some kind of strange trick of the light took place inside with that water and sort of comes from the same pipes.
Did we say what's actually wrong with the water? Do we know? Like what is making it a weird colour?
No idea.
No idea. Maybe for all we know, they're drinking the contaminated water, and maybe. But then I don't think any of the water. I don't know.
Sure, but time's a ticking for old Joshy boy. I certainly wouldn't want to be in his shoes when the full moon rolls around.
Indeed. I think we could do the thing, Oggy's idea in the morning. Then maybe see if we can find out more about Dr. Shine.
It's also like, do we want to go on a day that's the deadline day? Because they're probably going to be getting everything ready, which I guess could be good or bad, because they'll be distracted, but they'll be very determined.
True.
So we found some plans. We've learnt about the stone. we've
Yeah.
actually interrogated someone who worked there.
Oh, it's hard.
Can't work it out.
You could we could roll an idea check if you'd like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone wants to roll an intelligence check.
Not me.
Yeah. I'll do it. Intelligence.
Oh,
Okay, success.
Um.
Oggy, your experience with the recently what happened with Milton.
Yeah.
This whole situation has sort of left your detective instinct a bit more on guard, and beforehand you may have been completely in the ball house of Randolph, being like, this is a load of hogwash and we need to just, get in there and get him out. Stealth guerrilla mission, just like back in the war. But you definitely that experience has frightened you, and you think that since you were the one who mentioned it, perhaps it's best we look into this construction company. Maybe if we go down the thing of this disc, the fact that Josh seemed to indicate this Andrew McBride seemed like a useful person, perhaps getting to know who his previous employees are might get perhaps he might be a useful ally if you were to try and break out Josh, especially if you got some information about his past. Might help.
Do they have a do they have an office then, the construction company?
You don't know. You'd have to go to the town hall. The thing is, you know when it was constructed, the amphitheater, the date and everything, and you know that Andrew McBride was one of the construction workers. So, searching around the town hall, looking up Andrew McBride, looking up the date, would probably find you the results you were looking for.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea then.
Yeah, and Josh did say also to try and talk to him, so maybe he's got more for us.
Yeah.
So is that the avenue you want to proceed down?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
that's good.
Well, the town hall is closed for this evening, so would you look to retire to your homes for the evening?
Yeah, it's not far away, is it?
No, not at all. You all live in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. Oggy, can you describe Oggy's home to me? His office, his
Yeah. So Orky would have one of those things which is in a closet where you pull it down and there's a bed. Like,
Oh yeah.
So he'd basically just take off all his clothes except his vest, his boxers, and his socks. He'd just sit in his bed. He'd light up a cigarette. He'd like, oh, a day. and he just takes a big drag from a cigarette, and he's like, oh, that's the stuff.
When you get back to your place, Oggy, you go to sort of switch the lamp on, and you notice it's not switching on. The electricity has shorted out.
He'd sit there for a few more minutes. He's got his book on Belgian architecture next to his bed that he hides in case anyone comes in. And he's like, and you can see a little light from a cigarette. And after a few minutes, he like huffs and gets up and goes to the light switch to like flick it a few times.
Fuse must have gone. You know the fuse box is in the basement.
he puts his trousers on, pulls on a coat, and he opens the door, looks out, see if there's anyone around to make sure that no one sees him half dressed. He shouts out, it's like, "Does anyone else's lights go out?" And he'd like look under the auspices of other doors.
There's no
it's
sign
not
of
work.
any. There's no sign of any lights, but you don't get a response.
Just like groans. He's like, "Always got to sort it out myself, don't I?" And starts heading down to the basement.
You slowly make your way down the winding dark stairs that lead you to, without the electricity, the dark stairs leading down the dark stone steps, with a single door at the end. And you hear a drip, drip, drip sound. And as you
So,
tell me how you slowly approach.
just a big sigh, but he knows the building's old and people don't look after it, so he's not like expecting anything. He'd just like go to where he thinks the fuse box is.
You go down, and as you step down in the darkness, you feel a cold chill on your leg.
Is it dark still?
It is very dark, and you realise you've stepped into water.
Oh, hell! He's gonna like slap at the water.
It splashes up at you, and it's just enough to cover your foot. There's been flooding down here.
Kind of idiot. He like grumbles, but he keeps going towards the fuse box.
Yeah, you push through into the dark room and make your way, wading through the foot-high water towards the fuse box, and cling, click it back on, and generator starts up, and some ding, ding, light flickers in the basement, and you look round at the mess, and you look at the pipes on the wall. Clearly they've been broken. They look like they've suffered tampering.
It's gonna try and discern how these were broken.
Interesting. Let me have a quick look at character sheet, or if you've got any skills in mind.
It's not computer use. Guess is it mechanical repair?
You could do that, or you could just do, if you'd like, you could just do a general intelligence check if you'd like. I'm happy to do that. Or
I won't get a little skill.
or education check even.
He's gonna go for mechanical repair.
Okay,
Oh,
it's a failure. You're not sure. It looks like it's been tampered with, but you're not sure how.
God, what do you do? And obviously the fuse box looks like it's blown because these have been broken, right?
Exactly. But
Yeah.
weirdly, you didn't. When looking around at the door, there's no forced entry into the residence. You know that these buildings are locked. That only residents have the keys.
Sort of scowls, but he'd start to proceed back upstairs so he can blow some towels around the pipes.
Yeah, and you get some towels, and you continue in their head, hearing the drip, drip, drip of the broken pipes. And then we cut to who has the lowest luck.
Oh, baby.
I think it's Randolph, because he was spending quite a significant chunk of it.
Be impressed if anyone had less than 7.
Oh, no. 28.
Anyone else?
I'm just opening it out.
No, I've got
54.
No.
No, sorry, Tom.
Hey.
Randolph, in your apartment, you suddenly hear a drip, 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 drip sound that seems to be coming from below in your basement.
Randolph, I imagine, is he likes his bed. I think his initial response would be to kind of roll over and pull the covers over his head.
But the sound continues. Drip, drip, drip. It's irritatingly loud.
Ain't anybody getting any sleep round here anymore. And he'd grab his lighter and just walk down in his PJs.
As you get to the door, you click the light and nothing comes on. It's just black. Power's gone out.
He'd light a cigarette and then, using his lighter, keep the flame on and start making his way down.
You make your way downstairs, puffing on the cigarette, the smoke moving up over your eyes, covering the darkness beyond. Your eyes not quite adjusted. But you wind your way down and make your way to your basement. And the drip, drip, drip gets louder. And then one big puff. And you look down and your eyes are adjusting, and at the bottom of the stairs you see something. You can't quite make it out though. And then just for a second you take your cigarette away from your mouth in a kind of discerning look. Can you make a spot hidden check for me?
Oh my god, I was lucky.
Well, was it?
Ah!
As you look into the darkness and your eyes adjust, you see two big eyes staring back at you. And I need you to make a sanity check for me. That is a fumble, as your sanity is below 50. I'm not sure if you can share fumble on sanity checks, but I'm just gonna say you can for now because I think it's fun. You take, this will I think be doubled, 10 points of sanity loss. And I'm not sure.
Never saw Randolph again.
I'm not sure if people have any idea what their maximum sanity loss over this scenario has been. Obviously it's been a while, so I'm not sure if anyone's been keeping track of that.
I think we wrote it down in the chat before, didn't we?
Possibly we've done a lot of rolls though.
Yeah, true.
If someone wants to go back through and try and find that, then that would certainly be helpful. I'm not going to look right now though, but 10 points of sanity is a lot. Let me quickly just get the sanity rolls up because I need to double check something. Sanity. Where is it? Sorry, bear with me when I check this ruling. A fumbled sanity result results in the character losing the Okay, so it wouldn't actually be 10, it'd be 6.
Okay.
Apologies. There's still a lot though.
That's
Losing more than a few sanity points at a time. Everything goes insane. Just need to get insanity up. Here it is. So, there's 3 types of insanity, 3 states. There's temporary, indefinite, and permanent. Now, temporary is when you get a loss of over 5 sanity at once, which is what's happened here. Indefinite is when you lose the number on your character sheet over the course of a scenario, which should be on your character sheet at the top if you look somewhere.
Yep. 19.
19. And furthermore, and then you've got permanent sanity is when you lose all your sanity. So, let me...
Poor Tom.
You must make an you've got to make an
I love it.
Can you make an intelligence roll? You want to fail this.
Ah, yeah.
Did you fail? I'm scrolled all the way up. Let's scroll down.
I
You
have seen the face.
You succeeded. If the intelligence roll succeeds, the investigator recognizes the full significance of what has been seen or experienced and goes temporarily insane. Can you roll a d10 for me, please?
Yep.
7. For the next 7 hours, then you are temporarily insane. You lose all self-control. So, in terms of game mechanics, I'm just going to read these rules aloud because I think it's fun and it sort of gives a fun... On becoming insane, the investigator experiences a bout of madness. While experiencing a bout of madness, the investigator loses all self-control. In game terms, this means that the control of the investigator is handed from the player to the keeper for a short amount of real-world time. It is up to the keeper whether this control takes the form of dictating specific actions or it means giving the player guidelines how to play. So, let me just get to the art. Let me quickly put them. Somewhere in here there is a table and I don't know where it is. Roll another d10 for me, please.
Yep.
7. You flee in panic. You're so compelled to get as far away as possible by whatever means are available. So you run from your house, Randolph. Having seen this, you get to your car in your night clothes and panic attack. You're breathing so heavily. You get behind the wheel, start the engine up quickly and just start driving. I need you to make a drive auto check for me.
Hup.
As you start speeding, an extreme success.
I'm getting out of here.
Can you roll me another d10, please? That's not good.
They ain't never gonna catch me.
So you got 1 extreme success, but because you rolled an 8 of every 3 rounds, this lasts 8 rounds. For every 3 rounds, you need to make another check. So I need another drive auto check.
Hup.
A failure. Not a fumble.
It reminds me of that thing in what is it? Heavy Rain, where they like drive on the other side of the motorway.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah.
So you're driving fast, Randolph. You're panicking. You don't know what you've seen. Something.
Get me.
And suddenly, a car comes out of the side of the road, and you just hit into the front of it. You take 4 points of damage as you hit your head into the steering wheel and your car starts smoking up. As the scene zooms out, we see Randolph, his head against the front of his dashboard, a man rushing out of his car shouting explanatories at him. We zoom away from the scene as Randolph is left there until the following morning, getting very, very little sleep tonight.
Oh, yeah.
However, who is the lowest luck out of Joe and Tala?
I got 69.
60, fucking nice.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's me then. I got 54.
Okay, Tala. Drip, drip, drip. In your bed you hear a sound as well. It's irritating. And then suddenly, drip, drip, a huge loud crash comes from downstairs. What do you do?
I've watched enough horror films to know I probably shouldn't go and investigate it, but I'm gonna go and investigate.
Okay. You get out of bed and you move to the top of the stairs. And suddenly, as you reach the top of the stairs, you hear drip, drip, drip behind you this time. You look over your shoulder and suddenly you feel this force push into you from behind, yet you see nothing. I need you to make a hard strength roll.
Okay, watch me go.
A success. Oh no, wait, is this a regular success?
Oh wait,
you
sorry.
needed a hard one. Well, that is a failure on a hard. So
I forgot what I was doing.
that's okay. I'll take the first one because
Okay.
as it was that roll. As you fall at the top of the stairs and Tala starts tumbling down, hitting hard, and then suddenly you take 1 point of damage as you manage to cushion most of your fall at the bottom. You look around in the darkness and you move up to the light and you flick it on and it illuminates the room. You're holding your back, looking around the room. You don't see anything. Everything looks as it was. You stare back up the stairs. And we zoom out the scene once more. As now we join Joe Brown, who is happily asleep in bed. But just need to roll something.
I imagine he does the cartoon snoring where it's like beep 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 beep.
In a deep slumber, Joe, you begin to dream. Perhaps it's just a tale of what Randolph told you, but you think back to being underground with Milton. You think back to that huge snake-like statue, and you begin to see the snake curl towards you and becomes so large that it covers your entire vision, and all you can see is moving scales that, as you look even closer and press your face up against the glass window that is your sleeping mind, you see eyes. Can you make a con roll? You lose 2 magic points.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Magic.
Take away 2 magic points from Joe,
I'll figure out how to. Oh, there.
and then
Cool.
make a con roll for me.
Con.
Failure. If anyone was watching, you'd see Joe suddenly startled in his sleep. You lose another 6 magic points.
What?
We're not going to be
If
a
you cut.
wizard.
How many?
Definitely
You're not a wizard, Joe.
How many magic points do you have left?
What happens if you got -2 now?
Oh, well, you take 2 points of damage
Oh. Okay.
as suddenly you're startled awake, and Joe, you just lean over the side of the bed and you're sick all over the floor.
Oh. Yep.
You feel like you've got this bad headache, and you look up and you look at the clock, and it's like 9 a.m. and you feel like you haven't even slept. You're like, what the fuck? I literally just got into bed, and now I've woken up and been sick all over the floor.
Don't look at me, Jim. Don't look at me. There's a state over here. Oh. Yeah. 9 a.m. Jesus. Alright. Do I get anything for being tired?
I don't believe so. Just roleplay stuff, I think.
Yeah.
I think you don't get any. That's one thing you don't get any back. If you got a good night's sleep, you would get any HP you'd lost so far back. If you don't, then you don't get any. So anyone who got a bad night's sleep, such as Randolph, doesn't get any hit points back. Oggy does, if he lost any, etc. Joe obviously doesn't. We will continue next morning in a minute. I need to go pee, so I'll be right back.
I killed that man whose car I hit. Killed him!
Did you do anything weird last night? No.
I wear my pajamas outside sometimes, alright? It's just the cool thing to do.
Okay, just be like, me too. I
So
guess
what are
that
we-
he could.
Carry on.
I'll go on, Hannah.
No, go on. Mine's gonna take ages.
I was going to say, Joe. Joe would just be like, it's just because of increased stress. It's nothing weird. It's nothing weird.
Yeah, definitely. For a month of just stress, you know. Yesterday was a busy day. The day before, very busy as well. Oh, no, it's like... Yeah, what we doing in this next day? We're looking up what was it again? I forgot now.
Trying to find that construction company, I think.
Oh yeah. That's it.
Right, I am back. So you, after a eventful night, you decide to regather. You meet somewhere in the city, perhaps at the town hall itself. As you meet up, how do you greet each other after an eventful night?
Well, Joe turns up with baggy eyes, slightly more crumpled clothes than normal. But that was the worst night's sleep I think I've ever had. I hope everyone else had a better night than me.
I slept well, but someone was messing with the goddamn electrics and the water. Don't know who could have done it. Couldn't work it out.
That sounds really annoying. Do you think it was maybe some annoying children?
Yeah, it's probably some youths. That's the kind of thing they like to get up to. I was going to read my book on. Never mind. Maybe you just need to get yourself some coffee, Joe.
Well, it was quite unusual, really. I had that, quite a strange dream about maybe it was just the stress of the day, but the dream itself was quite strange. It was a snake with really big eyes, and well, it gave me quite a fright, to be honest. I had to maybe was a little sicky in the morning, and this was not pleasant.
Well, Joe, after seeing that snake-headed man, whatever it was, I wouldn't blame you for having dreams about snakes. Give me the...
That's true. That's true. Maybe it's just an association.
As you're chatting, Randolph turns up with a nasty-looking bump on his head.
I think
Yep.
Tom's BRB.
Oh, it's Tom BRB.
I'm back.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's
Morning, everybody.
That's
It's
quite
a
a bump you have on your head.
fine day today. Are we all ready to go and figure this thing out?
Yes, if he points to your head, Randolph. If that's okay.
I don't know what you mean. It's a wonderful day today. Perfect day to get Josh out of there, get my money, and be on our way.
But if you're sure,
I'm
Don't
gonna
See why I
tell you
wouldn't
that
be.
hearing that coming from the other room and through the computer was very weird.
Yeah. Probably just a scrape from that little tumble you had with that guy you got yesterday, right, Silsford?
I don't even know why we're still talking about it. Do I look like a 10-year-old to you? We should be getting on with business, like adults.
As long as you aren't breaking my pipes and you've broke in and disrupted the water. Piss me off.
I tell you, the younger generation, they're lost. Lost to the world.
Yeah, last good generation when we died in the fields. Shouldn't have survived. But anyway,
well, speaking of survival, if that hurts, Mr. Randolph, I have got a first aid kit. We can maybe pat you up a little bit if you like, or you can just man up and we can go.
I'm ready and eager, willing, if not eager, to get everything done that we need to get done and see our business concluded.
Yeah. Does Tala look alright?
She's got a bit of a stiff back, but she looks nothing noticeable.
How was your night, Tala? Anything unusual?
No, I guess not unusual. Just had a bit of a strange night, that's all.
Oh, in what way? What strange happened? Was it the dream of the snake like I did?
No, it wasn't a dream. It was I heard this dripping sound and I went to go and investigate where it was coming from, and then it was coming from behind me and something pushed me down the stairs.
dripping. Something wrong with the water?
I don't know. It kept on changing its location, so I'm guessing it probably isn't anything water would naturally do.
It might just be those damn kids who broke my water system. Fooling people. Maybe they're called the water bandits. Maybe it's a whole new thing the new generation's up to. Water-based crimes.
This
Those pesky kids, huh?
trending on Toctic, you know, that thing, and
Oh yeah, the newspaper.
the young kids, yeah, the newspaper Toctic, yeah.
Goddamn rags.
Well, if you're okay to carry on, Tara, then we can carry on with the day. I'm quite tired.
yeah, I'll be
Maybe I'll take a
absolutely
back
fine.
seat, but oh, that's good. That's good.
Stay with all the dripping and everything. Nobody this is gonna sound just crazy, but nobody saw any creatures down with the dripping sounds, but by chance. Just a thought I just had right now.
Oh, only the snake in my dream. Unfortunately, no tentacles in my room.
Right. Natalie, did the eyes that that Randy saw look serpentine?
Yes, somewhat.
Shit. Huh. Well, I am ready for my day. Another day on the job. Let's get going, shall we?
Just gotta discuss one thing. If we're planning to break Josh out from that place, and do we want to do it today, or are we gonna wait until this whole ritual thing tomorrow? I mean, it might, even if it's not something occult and weird, they're gonna be on high alert tomorrow. But maybe also distracted, so I have no idea. What do the
Yeah.
rest of you think?
I think that it's quite likely they'll all be fully staffed tomorrow as well, which is not in our favour. So
It's a good
maybe if
point,
we can
Phil.
make it today, perhaps if we find out enough information.
Yep. Big vote for today. Today.
Yeah, then I can go home and try and fix those goddamn pipes.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
should we go see if we can find out more about this construction company then? Maybe we can try and talk to oh, I can't remember his name now. What's his face in the
Andrew McBride.
Andrew McBride in the asylum.
Okay, so you make your way into the town hall. How long would be the maximum amount of time you'd spend searching for this today?
What time is it now? Probably till about midday, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about 9. Okay.
3-4 hours.
Could I get a library use roll from somebody?
Who's good at libraries?
Not me.
I
I've got
have a
20.
34.
20.
I'll have a
20.
look. But it feels pretty cruel if I don't have a good score.
And Randolph he's not staying still at any point.
Randolph can't
today.
read.
Yeah.
Library. Oh, I've got a 20. The fuck?
So
This game's rigged.
Oggy's got the best library use then, I think.
He'll just show his badge to person. He's like, I'm not here to fuck around. I'm doing some proud investigating.
Well, in fact, that is one way you could obviously it's a town hall, so you could approach this slightly differently if you wanted to perhaps use some charm or persuade skills to get someone to help you, one of the members of the staff.
I think he's quite aggravated because of the he thinks it's the kids who broke his water.
Mm-hmm.
So he would be forceful. He's just like, I'm here investigating a kidnapping. I'm gonna need all of your whoever's indisposed. I need him to help me find something.
Let's do, I'd say, an intimidate check. You're being quite forceful. Success. I'll allow you to re-roll that library skill then with a bonus die on top as well.
Shall I just use the bonus die?
Yes, if you
for
want.
that
Yeah,
library boost one.
yeah, if you want. So that would be
38.
38. Unfortunately, you want to
What
spend
can
4. You can use luck. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll use 4 luck.
Okay. Brilliant then. So a regular success means that after 2 hours, with the help of one of the members of staff, you find the information you're looking for. And you find that the company that Andrew McBride worked for and that built the amphitheatre was a company called New Era Builders & Co., which still exists today. And it's got the address here as well, which is not far, probably about maybe a 10-minute drive away.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's over there, I guess.
Okay. So you drive across town, 10 minutes or so, and you arrive at New Era Builders & Co. You're outside the building.
What does it look? What does it look like? Is it nice?
It's pretty run down. It's not great. It doesn't look like the most well kept place. Definitely not the most fancy building company you've ever seen.
Does anyone have any experience with engineers or workmen?
I've got good mechanical repair, and I'm good at cars.
Yeah, maybe you can throw some lingo in, Joe, and see if you can make a rapport with these people.
Yes, well, maybe that will be helpful. Yes. Hannah knows nothing, so Natalie will have to
Yeah.
fill in.
So you make your way inside the offices of the building. It's a fairly small building, and you approach, and there's a middle-aged man who's got like he's slightly balding. He's got like a little kind of Charlie Chaplin style moustache. And he kind of looks up and he's like, "Hey, what can I do you for?" How's it going?
Well, good sir. We're just here investigating something. I was just wondering if you would know much about the amphitheater that you built in what the asylum called? The asylum.
Danvers.
Danvers.
Oh, that was some time ago. Yeah, I was in charge. What of it?
Well, just that we know one of your associates, one of your employees here, is currently one of the patients up there, and we were just wondering if you could tell us a bit more about him, and perhaps a bit more about the amphitheater and things like
Can you make me a credit rating check?
that. Credit rating, gosh. Where is that?
Should be on the left-hand side, I think, for skills.
Yeah, there you go.
Hard success. He kind of looks you up and down, Joe, and he's like, "Don't get many kind of fancy-looking folk in here. It's a nice suit you got on, sir."
Oh, thank you. I try to keep it quite crisp.
Oh, very crisp, yeah.
It's quite difficult when you're working on many cars and, electrical things as I do.
You're something of a car man yourself, are you?
It collects
indeed.
vintage cars, don't you, Joe?
I do vintage cars. My car in particular, my pride and joy, I keep her spruced up very well.
I got myself the finest Chrysler. Beautiful baby.
Oh, very
American
nice,
car.
very nice.
Right you are, sir. Nothing better than American make. Name's Eddie Sullivan. I own this here company. This is my company. Owned by my daddy.
Well, very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Do you mind if we come down? If you have the time, we have a few more questions as well. If that's all right.
Well, I'm an awfully busy man. What do you want to know?
Well-
I can tell you the basic. I can't remember any employees from back then. It was such a long time ago.
Well, did we say his name already? Andrew McBride.
Andrew
what do we
McBride.
actually-
Roll a luck check for me.
Yeah. Damn it.
I'd have to go check the records. I don't remember him off the top of my head.
What do we want to know specifically from this guy?
Orky wants to quickly jump in and ask something. Just.
Yeah.
With buildings you've erected, where does Danvers stand in your, pride of top 5?
Can you make a credit rating check?
Yeah. God. Don't think. Where is credit rating?
I think it's on the left-hand side, if I remember correctly.
In the
Yes.
seas.
Oh my god, I forgot it was that low.
Oh no.
Do you want to spend that much luck?
No.
Right. Excuse me, sir. I was talking to your friend here. Anyway, the Chrysler, finest car I've ever had. He starts sort of going off about with Joe, talking about his car for like a extended period,
100%.
sort of ignoring you, Oggy.
Talking about how he maintains it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
all the
Yep.
repairs he does.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we want to build a rapport with this guy and figure out what his like associates were at the time, all the names of things, so we can.
You certainly try, but he is talking you to death about his car, and it looks like he's like, as he's sort of wrapping up the conversation, he's like, "Well, I gotta get back to work. Good luck to you," sort of thing. Unless you've got, are you gonna push this guy anywhere else?
Yeah, it will. It sort of nudges him over more to the sort of like more. I don't know if they got seating area in this place, but
It's like a reception
that.
area.
yeah. So it sort of goes, sort of nudge him over that way as he's talking and walking.
Mhm.
And they'd be like, whatever. I've got a few more unrelated questions if that's okay for you. Of course, we'll pay you for your time, an expensive man. Requires a fee, of course. I don't want to take your time for free.
Make a persuasion check with a bonus die. Or mentioning money.
Oh god. Oh god.
Success.
Joe the lucky boy.
Yeah, well, if you're offering some cash, I suppose I could see some, putting some of my time aside. And he sort of puts like a big pile of like folders and papers away, and and sort of invites you back into his office.
Yeah, so it's only taken maybe an hour of your time, maybe less, probably less.
Yeah, come back on through. You seem like a nice, fancy fella.
Yeah. What questions do we want from him then? More about Andrew, more about who was on staff at the time, I guess.
I think another good one was if there's anything particularly interesting about Danvers, like architecturally, that he might remember building.
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
Yeah, just in that sort of order, I guess.
Will you tell me what first you're asking?
He said he didn't remember Andrew, so you'll have to go look up in the books. At the same time, if he can look up like who else was working at the time, that'd be great. Have some more names.
Yeah, he'd go search through the records if you asked him. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, Andrew McBride. He was the one who ended up loopy. Oh, funny like."
Oh, it seems like you remember him. Do you remember why? What happened? What made him go a bit loopy?
I don't know.
That's that weird.
Maybe his wife cheated on him or something.
Oh, quite possibly.
But
Have you shown any
he was the
strange behaviours before?
not before really. No, he was the head workman on that particular project, and
Oh.
I know he got in a little bit of trouble with the doctor, the superintendent there for I think he broke some kind of stone disc.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I remember it quite well actually. That now you mention his name and it brings it back. He broke the disc and then well, I offered the disc to the good superintendent who well, he was a bit irritated at first, but he didn't want to keep it or anything. He wasn't too concerned. So well, I thought it looked quite, a bit like an artifact, and well, I kept it above my desk actually, on the wall for a number of years. But well, strangely, a businessman bought it off me for a decent sum a number of years ago.
Oh. But we've honestly be quite interested in that disc actually. It's quite important to our knowledge. Do you remember who you sold it to, or a name or a business address if he was a businessman?
I have to check my paperwork. Hold on. I usually keep track of all transactions, through the business. Got to avoid a little bit of tax and all whatnot. Business expense. Right. Just sort of gets his papers out and starts sort of flipping through them, and he's like, that was a fella, an older gentleman, Mr. Merriweather, Rupert Merriweather.
Yeah. Rupert Merriweather, yeah. Do you know much about this man? Do you have any particular contact details, perhaps? We'd definitely like to talk to him if possible.
I don't think so. You would remember, Joe, that Rupert Merriweather is the person who worked at the one of the head members of the Society for the Exploration of the Unexplained. He was the one who hired you originally to go to Josh's place. Yep, he's the one. He's the one who sort of brought Randolph and you together at the start of this particular scenario to help you get Josh out.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, well, I think we might have some connection to that person anyway. But that's really useful actually. Thank you. Do you have any of the names that other names that worked on the amphitheater at the time?
Yeah, he gives you a list of names, but none of them particularly stand out to you. You've got like
it's more just
Lawrence Fuller, Giles Preston, Luther Fletcher, names like that.
More just so that we can reference them to Andrew if we want to.
Yeah, he'd give you a list of names.
Yeah, and then he'd talk about the amphitheater, if there's any like secret stuff that he built around it or anything, or any weak points perhaps.
He'd say no. He'd say it's a pretty standard construction. I think he'd be slightly offended if you said weak points. Be like,
yeah. Then he'd be like, as expected from a well-established building company, I would not suspect any weak points.
Right, you are.
Mr. Brownhill was actually interested in having his own amphitheatre built of those, right, Mr. Brown?
Yes, perhaps in the future, yes, in the near future, maybe. We've just got to find the land, you know how difficult that is now.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Yeah. That's okay. So people do sometimes drown me out. What else do we want to ask this guy? So we've got information about where the disc could be. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
got-
pretty successful.
Pretty good. Do we want to know more about Andrew? Because we know that he went a bit loopy, but we don't know why. We knew he had he broke the disc. What else do we need to know? I think.
Randy's outside, pacing around the building, checking alleyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No sign of any eyes.
This guy seems like he's losing
Can't get
interest
me.
quickly, and
Yeah.
seems to be
Yeah.
dismissed.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of like sort of rubs his pocket and where his wallet is sort of sticking out of his trousers slightly,
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah.
"Well, I've been quite helpful, I think, to your time. I provided you with all the information. I was just,
I agree.
I'm a busy man."
What is the sort of what is an hourly rate for a bearded man? I don't actually know. What would it be in this time? I have no idea.
God knows, but let's just say $1.
Okay, there you go, $1.
Yeah, you don't have to take anything off, obviously, it's under your daily spending stuff.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Why, thank you, well, I'm glad I could be of assistance, and have a good day." I like how all my
You have a
American
good
accents
day as well?
always go back to being Southern, so I can't do any other ones.
It's hard not to, yeah.
Super hard.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was successful. Well, let's go talk to Bloody Merryweather then. He might have the disc.
Okay, so Joe comes outside, and do you share the information with the rest of the group?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you heading to Mr. Merryweather's? You all know where he lives, or where the society is?
I think so. If
Okay.
everyone else has got the same idea.
Yeah,
I
Randolph
know.
would just be like, "Sounds good, let's go."
I think it's the best
Yeah.
lead.
Okay. So you head up the winding hill up to the same house where you visited the gala in the very first session, and you knock at the door, and eventually a maid sees you up to the office, up sort of a grand staircase up to the office of Mr. Merryweather, the older gentleman in the dark suit with the sort of longer sort of grey hair that goes back and a long sort of pointed beard, sitting behind, and he's like, "Well, if ain't this a surprise, a pleasure to see you all." Who would be sort of leading the group at this point?
Okay, I guess you would,
Yeah.
seeing as Joe took the last one, and Sylph said seems like he's freaking out.
Randy would have his arms crossed and he'd be scowling at Rupert.
He
And
would
he'd be tapping his foot.
He just looks to Yogi and he just says, "Colonel, it's a pleasure. How goes getting Mr. Winscott out of that awful place?"
Well, it seems like that investigation has come full circle back to the society. Apparently, you're in possession and you acquired some sort of obelisk from a blowhard construction boss at some point.
He kind of strokes his beard for a second and thinks, and he says, "Oh yes, the Aztec disc. Yes, I had heard that one had been found up on, well, near the asylum, in fact. I purchased it quite a few years ago now. Yeah, I mean, I still have it if you'd like to see it."
I would more than like to see it. I've heard a lot of things about that.
Well, of course, I'm quite well studied. I have my own personal collections of various artifacts, and he sort of leads you through the building and society, and he sort of starts talking about sort of other artifacts he's collected on his travels around the world, and sort of what the just finding some of these artifacts, and he's sort of like, well, this led to setting up the society, really, finding all these kind of strange things, of course. And he kind of leads you into this big room, and it's like a little museum. He's got loads of different things hanging on the wall. He's got various sort of things in sort of glass cases, bits of stone, and sort of a strange headdress in one corner, and he eventually leads you up to the mentioned disc, and it's like a stone. It is like a stone disc, almost like a big kind of like a very circular piece of rock that's about maybe sort of 5 or 6 inches thick, but it's cracked straight down the middle, and on the front of it there's like a big sign that's kind of like a in a unknown language to you. It looks like a big sort of almost like a symbols of an ancient civilization, perhaps. And Mr. Rera says, yes, it's quite the find, really. You don't get many such creations of Aztec design. It's as far as my the testing I've had done upon it, that it seems to be quite ancient. I've studied the Aztec, of course, the lore of their supposed their beliefs and their society, quite strange, really. The sign upon it is Aztec writing. It reads Tetslimi, which is in Aztec mythology. The Tetslimi are these supposedly celestial beings known as the Sky Descendants. Supposedly the Aztecs believe they, in their mythology, they arrived in these shining vessels from the heavens during a time of cosmic turmoil. Apparently they possessed radiant wings and came from the heavens with enlightening knowledge. Quite fascinating, really, how you can trace these kind of stories and myth across all different cultures, really. It's amazing to think how much these peoples were influenced in very similar ways in their storytellings, and I think it's just human nature, we always want to think that some big kind of god out there or someone out from beyond the stars is gonna come on down and solve all our problems.
I've heard some interesting things about this disc. Do we think that the people at the institution want this disc?
I don't know if they want it.
Well, so what? I'll just say what you know about it. So it's been a while. So you know that Dr. William Shine supposedly placed this disc on the hill,
Right.
and you know that
So when
there was a similar disc
what
placed.
I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was a similar
So
disc placed by the judge John Hathorne, but that disc supposedly has been lost to time.
So it might be like a warding disc.
Yeah. Well, there was John Hathorne was the landowner, wasn't he? And
Mm-hmm.
he had the disc on the land, and then somebody removed it.
He removed it.
It was Hathorne removed it.
Yeah.
And then people started going crazy, right? Or something. Something about the witch's ground, something about Salem.
Yeah, so what you know about it is that Judge Hathorne, he sort of took over the land from the native peoples there, and they believed it warded from evil spirits, and that it was a gift from people from the sky, and he removed it, and supposedly afterwards, that's when he committed the all the atrocities of the witch trials. After he removed, he also built his house on the hill. That's why it's called Hathorne Hill. After he removed the disc, wanted to replace any of the in his eyes crazy native things with good old Christianity.
Yeah.
Built a church on the hill and everything to make it and claim it in the name of God. And after that is when he committed the atrocities of all the witch trials and persecution and all that.
But then
Okay.
Dr. Shine came in, didn't he?
Mhm.
And then he put the disc back, and then it was all this because there was an asylum there already, and then the patients were going crazy. So then when he put the disc back, they all started
things improved.
resurfacing from the nightmare. Improved.
Yeah, things improved after he placed the disc back. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, he'd be like, I know this disc is valuable, but well, I'm of the thought that we should return it home. There's some odd goings on without the disc there, and everything we've turned up. It seems like the disc should go back to where it is rightfully placed. I might sound like a kook, but we're not in a esoteric society for nothing.
He smiles actually, and he says, I knew I liked you, Colonel, from the moment I met you. Go ahead. Take the whole thing.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Well, seeing as you've done, well, I'll make sure to make some notes on the effect this thing has and submit a report to the society. Maybe that'd be a good trade for it. More knowledge of the arcane and all that. Does that sound agreeable? I don't want to just take it for nothing. I mean, I do, but feels like you need to get something in return, and not just
Well, it certainly would be appreciated, but there's no obligations. I'll give it to you freely, Colonel.
Well, thank you very much.
Do a psychoanalysis check, okay?
Go on, Sigmund.
Oh my! His psychoanalysis is 1.
Yeah.
Come on, 1.
No dice.
Well, Oggy would be very pleased, and he'd
Yeah, that was easy.
happily help himself.
Suspiciously easy.
Yeah.
Isn't it broken?
He is broken, yeah.
Yeah. But it's better to have it than not.
Do we know how to fix? Could we fix it? Like, how do we fix it? Is it properly smashed, or is it
It's
just down the middle?
it's a crack down the middle.
Yeah. Alright, let's get the glue out. Put some glue on it.
The rock glue.
Yeah. Hey, people used to, repair crockery with gold. We could do that.
Yeah, and it's fancy, but then it's also really goddamn expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are people leaving?
Go on.
If people are leaving Rupert's office,
Yeah,
Randolph's staying behind and closing the door behind people.
Okay. Yeah.
You'd hear the door slam behind, and Randolph would steam up to Rupert,
Mr. Silsford, it's a pleasure.
pointing a finger very accusatory. Just be like, did you know?
Did I know what, sir?
Did you know what you were sending me into when you set me up with these people?
I'm afraid, Mr. Silsford, I don't quite know what you're talking about.
There were eyes. Serpent's eyes in the dark.
Do a psychoanalysis check.
You know who does have great psychoanalysis? Shelby Boucher.
Yeah, he did.
Gonna say not you.
Do you want to spend 19 points of luck is the question.
I have 7.
You have 7. Not enough. You don't get any kind of reading from him at all. He's just like, I'm really sorry, Mr. Silver. I don't know anything about any eyes or anything. I simply thought you would be a good fit to help them with, the problem with Mr. Winscott.
Does Rupert have any beverages on his desk, like a cup of coffee? Or
Yeah,
anything like
absolutely. He'd have stuff like that, definitely.
then, keeping eye contact with him, Randolph would shake shaky hands, go into his pocket, pull out a cigarette, put it between his lips, light it, and then dunk it in the guy's coffee, and then turn on his heel and storm out of the room.
Good day, Mr.
Without saying a word.
Silsford. And we see, as Randolph leaves the room, the long room of Rupert Merriweather, who now sits behind his desk, and we see Rupert bring the coffee cup up to him, alone now in the room, and swirls the cigarette in there, and looks down at the cigarette and just looks up and smiles to himself and just goes, I think they'll do. And we cut back to our characters, as now you have the disc, the broken disc.
Yeah, okay, just like we just get some concrete on this and put it back together, put it back in. That'll work,
Yeah.
right?
Get some cement. I'm sure cement,
Yeah.
something. Go back to the building site. They got cement.
Of course it's gonna work. It's all fine.
Yep.
Well, if you want to do that,
maybe it'll work as at least a wall or something. Maybe even just good luck I'll take at this point.
well, if you want to do that, feel free to look. I'd say you can all make navigate checks, as we'll say. That seems like the most appropriate. Unless you can see any other skills you think are more appropriate.
Navigate.
Just to see how long this takes, really. Hard success for Joe.
What was it? Navigate. Oh. Natural world. Navigate. No.
Well, we've got Joe with a hard success, which is more than enough. So you would find somewhere that would be willing to repair it. Currently, they would say to you, based on their current projections, they'd need to take it for about a week or so before they can. But perhaps you, would you have any ideas of how maybe to speed that process up, to prioritise it?
Give him some money.
You certainly could do that. How much money are you willing to dunk into this?
Well, if you can have it done by the afternoon, he reluctantly says $9.
They would say, make it 10 and you've got yourself a deal.
Oh, damn it. I've already spent $1 today.
Well, this would, how much is your daily spending?
10.
10. So, well, you could spend, if you could get someone else to chip in with their daily spending as well, it would be no issue.
Oggy definitely would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this company, who is willing to fix such things, puts priority numero uno on this and has it fixed by this afternoon. Is there anything else anyone wants to do during that time whilst you wait for it to be fixed?
Do we want to try and find out more about Dr. Shine? Maybe we can figure out, I don't know, maybe some of his weird shit. Maybe he had an office or something, or storage.
I feel like the most. Well, what would add to the plans of trying to get Josh out? We think this way
Yeah.
might work with the disc, but might not.
The only thing with the disc is, do we know where it can be placed? Because obviously the amphitheater's on top of it, right? Where it was before.
That's true.
And also, we don't know that sticking it back together with concrete or whatever modern method is going to do anything.
Yeah, we don't actually know for sure. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Dealing with powers we don't understand.
yeah, better than nothing.
Randy is desperate to stay busy, so if anyone's even half like, maybe we should go do that, he'll be like, yep, let's go do that right now. Let's go. Wee.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm just wondering if anything from Dr. Shine will help us, because obviously he had weird like voodoo shit from his travels, but we don't know if will help or not. I just don't know if there's any remnant of him anyway, because it was a long time ago.
Maybe we should try and find out something about him. Well, I feel like getting to the cell is still going to be really hard, but I don't really
Yeah,
see any
I
other
don't
way
know.
of doing it.
I don't know. How are we getting in still? Like, they didn't let us in before properly. Are we just gonna bum rush it? Are we gonna sneak in? What are we gonna do?
Bum rushing does not seem like a
Preach. I think it needs to be a distract kind of job.
Yeah.
That's
Do we
why
want
Randy
to?
was talking about setting a fire before. I don't think setting a fire is a good idea. I'm just saying, like a distraction.
What was that little outbuilding? Was that the boiler room? Because we can set fire to that, and that won't be particularly dangerous to anyone in the building.
Kayla is the boiler house, yes.
blow it, and then the explosion will draw people out. But then,
Yeah.
I mean, do they have fire alarms at this time?
Let's go to ChatGPT, shall we?
Hey, ChatGPT.
Wasn't our plan before like sneak in through the sewer? Because wasn't the little
It was the ventilation system, which is something you discovered.
ventilation, that was it.
Did they have fire alarms?
or maybe someone could blow the boiler, and then the smaller people go in through the vents.
It did not exist as automatically taken. However, there were various forms of fire detection alarm systems during that time. They were much simpler and less advanced. They might have had basic fire alarm systems that could have manually operated bells or horns. Systems relied on someone noticing a fire and then pulling the fire alarm lever. No automatic smoke detection.
If we explode the boiler, though, that'll go off quite quickly.
Yeah, it'd be
Or we
loud
could-
as well.
Well, no, that there's no detection but we could just pull the lever,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pull the lever.
run around yelling fire.
Yeah. It might be suspicious if we just show up though and be like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I think we need like a breach team and a distraction team.
Augie would definitely be on the
Split and
distraction team. He's not getting through a vent.
Joe Brown's average size. I think he might be able to fit for a vent.
Randy almost definitely can, but he's not particularly keen to get into something that a snake would likely be crawling around in, so...
True.
You don't like the idea of snakes now.
That's fair. Snakes are cute. What? Oh yeah, I don't know. Joe Brown could be on either. He's average.
I guess Tala should go in because she might
Oh,
help
yeah.
calm Josh down.
And she's got good decks as well. To dodge shit.
You would also know that Josh is kept in a cell that is under lock and key.
You could try and knock somebody out while you're doing it, and then steal their clothes and see if they've got the keys.
Yeah.
Definitely
Honestly,
could.
if they like sneak in, and then like from the vent, jump from above,
Oh my god.
onto the person. Yeah, I don't know, but action scene style. I don't know. This seems very risky. Do we actually want to do it this way?
Well, I don't know. It's a prison. How are you meant to break into a
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have guns. You can literally just walk in and be like, "Give me
True.
Josh Winscott, or I'll blow
True.
your fucking head off."
I feel like
Or
we
go
might get
in and
arrested
take
for
the
that.
receptionist hostage.
I feel
Again,
like
I'm not saying it's a
yeah.
smart idea, but we seem to be out of smart ideas.
I think the distraction in the vent, and then whoever goes into the vent has a gun.
Can Tyler wield a gun? What's Tyler's gun wieldingness?
Lala's firearm
Or-
skill.
Or Randy?
Firearms.
Sorry, what was that?
What are your? Do you have any good skills under firearms in this skills section on the
I'm
right?
willing to bet probably not.
Yeah, Randy doesn't either.
He does,
Oh.
but he's huge.
My
Joe
best
Brown's
one is rifle
average?
/ shotgun 25, which I'm pretty sure is the default.
That
Yeah,
is
that's
the
mine as
default.
well.
I've got-
Handgun 20.
Let's
about
do
it,
that
really.
as well.
Handgun 50. It's my highest.
Handgun 20.
But yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm lost.
Well, we got two options.
If there's a fire alarm, surely they can't keep him in his cell.
Unless they're really crazy.
True.
But not if they want him for the next day.
Oh yeah, good point.
Well, let me just say we've got two options because this escape attempt is going to take more than 45 minutes. I would say if we're going to go till 10:30. Do we want to spend, say, the next until 10 o'clock? Should we say? Do you guys want to come up with a plan in the next 20 minutes that you'll conduct next week? Next time we play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can sort of
Okay.
stop around 10 o'clock today, and then you'll have the plan ready to go for next week, and you guys can write some notes down whilst we're chatting here, what you think the plan's actually going to be, and then that gives me a chance to sort of plan out potentially what. So I think let's start by this actually bring up the old, where is it? Let's actually bring up the old, let me get rid of the stuff. So, we could do it step by step. Perhaps you guys want to discuss what you're going to try and do step by step, assuming stuff goes ideally. So you guys discuss, and I'll start adding it into the turn order, and you'll have it sort of there, and then you can make notes of it at the end.
Okay.
And I can move
Ran-
stuff around as well.
Randy's skill set is speed and fast talker. So he could be potentially good as a distraction person and then running round or whatever.
Speed. How do you know speed? Speed?
Randy, my guy,
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
chased
yeah.
down that dude, he's fast.
Oh yeah.
How do you know? What thing is that?
This is your movement rate at the top. It should be near the top of your character sheet.
Movement thing.
In the
So,
combat tab.
combat tab, yeah.
Oh, combat tab. Right. Oh, I see.
Randy's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
9, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I got
and
7.
my dodge skill is 75. My dexterity is 90. Like,
Ooh.
I'm fucking fast.
Jesus Christ. I got shit. Mine's terrible. I got 20 dex, 30 dodge, 7 movement.
Yeah, Randy's built his life on being able to get out of dodge when people discover his fucking snake oil is exactly that.
He's definitely the combat person because he's good with a gun. He can spot things quite well, and what's the other thing? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Joe can kind of fire a gun with 50. He's quite good at listening with 60, and he's really good at driving, but that's about it.
Good point. We need a getaway car. Once we get Josh out, we need to bundle him in the back of a car and
Which
can we
Joe's
drive
car
the
is.
car up to
Joe's car would still be in the shops, and Randy's car has been damaged now as well. So you're relying on someone else having a car.
Oggy has a car. He has
Okay.
in his possessions. He has a Ford Model A.
Nice.
I'm not even sure if we ever did round off having a car, but add a car to your possessions, Randolph. That's fine.
a broken car.
Yeah, broken car. I sort of improvised there and assumed you had one.
I'll take it. What about Tala? What's Tala's best skills? I know she's quite good at combat. She's quite strong and dexterous.
Basically, Carla's best skill.
What is?
What is?
Betting her eyelashes.
Betting her eyelashes. So she's good at fast talking. So
Yeah. Persuasion. Charm. I've got 47 credit rating. Pretty good.
it's pretty.
Somebody goes, Tara's got.
What's her dex and stuff like that? Strength.
If you go on the combat tab,
She's got 50 dex, 32 dodge. Her build's only 1. Damage bonus of 1d4. Movement rate 8.
Okay. She's pretty good at fighting.
She only got 25 in the brawl skill though.
Okay, she's good at getting away then, I guess. Or climbing. Is she good at climbing?
Climb skill. She got 20. The base.
Base. Joe's alright at first aid. He's got 47.
Tyler's got very good got quite good acting at 40. Persuade 56. She's got sleight of hand 75.
Ooh, that might be good for the key thing.
maybe she could chat up an orderly and get a key.
Maybe
Maybe.
if Joe can fit in the vents, he's got quite good navigate at 50. Navigate the vents. Sort of thing.
I love that idea. It's really
Just
funny.
imagine it like a taxi drive. Here I go.
Studied the map very thoroughly. I know where every vent is.
I'm gonna put some of these options in the thing, and you've got.
The way it's shaping in my head is Randy's the crazy distraction guy. Tala's the actual fast talk, sleight of hand, get a key off someone. Yeah. Oggy is obviously the fucking walking turret man.
Yeah.
Who just needs to be escorted as close to the target as possible. And yeah, I think Joe might be our break-in and entering guy.
I could just imagine Joe Brown with a bloody tea mask on his face.
I'm imagining Joe Brown mod for Arkham Asylum, jumping down on the criminals.
Where is he?
What did you do to my car? Because you can we can set up a ruse. Randy could be attacking or pretending to attack Tala, and then she can be like, "Help me, hunky orderlies," and then try and steal a key off them or whatever, and then fire alarm and what have you. I feel like
Just
Randy
do what
can.
Sheridan Smith. Sorry.
Yeah, Randy can evade capture pretty well.
So we're thinking.
I'm gonna sleep with an
distraction
orderly
out
and steal his key.
So we're thinking distraction out the front to steal the key, and then distraction out the front with the fire alarm while 2 people sneak in to the vents.
Yeah, I think we need them distracted by Randy. In my head, it's like Randy gets some gets Tala chased inside. She throws herself on an orderly like, "Oh, help me, I'm so helpless." Throws herself on him, pickpockets the key, flips it to Oggy. Oggy can head off, Joe can head off, like whatever, while Randy's just being a fucking nuisance out front and keeping people's attention and
Yeah.
throwing shit and pulling fire alarm levers and whatever.
Yeah. Do we have an
That's
idea
what-
of a way into the vents already? Or
That's what
do
we
not?
should have asked the guy about. We should have asked him about fire evacuation
Yeah.
procedures.
Do we also want to try and put this stone in the amphitheater?
Yeah, I just don't know where to put it. We could
In
try
the
though.
cen-
Imagine being the receptionist, just see these people turn up in a car again with a fucking massive stone
Yeah.
strapped to the back of it.
Maybe someone could get themselves committed.
I feel
Yeah.
like that plan is awesome, but was probably a 2 or 3 days before this plan.
Oggy could go in with a gun,
Yep.
and he could start screaming about the frog, and maybe
Yeah.
they'll take him into the circle
That's
because he knows about the frog.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's getting led away, he could try something, but maybe he'd be in the straitjacket by then anyway.
I was gonna say, like, they're not
Yeah.
gonna let you keep the gun.
No, we might lose our gunman. It might be bad. Oh, I do like that idea. That's pretty great. It could be Tala though, if she can get out of someone's grip easily. I don't know what that would be.
Ooh, sleight of
Dex?
hand, slipping out of a
Yeah.
straitjacket or something.
Yeah, grabbing a key, knocking them out, sort of thing.
That's pretty cool.
So you could come in and be like, "This woman's crazy. I'm bringing her in."
Yep.
I found her on the street, sort of thing. That could be the distraction as well. Get some other staff in there.
Yeah, because then I'm inside and I can find the fire lever or whatever.
Yeah,
Once Tala's in.
yeah. So maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that better actually. That's less frantic.
Hmm.
I love how whatever way I like pass it in my head with all the different rolls, Oggy's roll just stays the same. In my head, Oggy's roll is just everybody stay calm and no one has to get hurt.
Pretty much.
Right. So if Tala's not sneaking through the vents with Joe, then Joe is just sneaking through the vents alone
Mm-hmm.
and does what?
Yeah, I guess would be like a backup for Tala.
Yeah, go follow her through the vents, maybe. I don't feel like he's very sneaky though.
It's
just gonna be
look
hanging
up
and
just
shit.
hear, yeah, like boom, 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 boom. And then just hear, oop, wrong way that time. It's actually a left turn, excuse me.
Oh, quickly, let me just check the map for you quickly. Oh.
It's quite dark in here.
The whole thing just goes off, and he's still stuck in the vent, so we have to get him a few days later.
Gets his,
Maybe if the
shoelaces
worst
stuck
comes
in.
to worst, we can convince them that the asylum is haunted and they'll run screaming from the building.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if other orderlies are like stressed and scared about the lizard stuff and what have you, we could maybe play on that.
But not shit, it's in the water.
Yeah.
So what's Oggy's role in this plan?
Everybody stay calm and nobody. I don't know. I think there's a few different plans floating around. Another one that we could have done, and maybe still could, is I swear it wouldn't be that hard to get like an orderly outfit or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe
Maybe
who's
that's
gonna
what Oggy
wear
could
that
do.
though?
Oggy.
He could hang around in his car outside and then try and drive someone off the road.
I like
and then
Oggy's
Okay.
like the most recognisable though, isn't he?
Well, I will say, if you look at the map, you can see that there is a number of different laundry places marked with number 2. So you can see that the main building has one at the back that perhaps could contain some orderly uniforms. There's also the boiler room. Boiler house has uniforms in there. Perhaps not the same kind of ones you're looking for, but just
Be a
some
patient,
just some ideas.
patient outfit. Could be like
Well, we could have someone as the patient and another person as the orderly escorting them in.
yeah, it could be like this one escaped out the vent, whatever. Quick,
But don't look in the vents now. There's definitely no one there anymore.
No, it's all right. It's fixed now. I fixed it.
What do we
Yeah.
need? We need a key. We need a key for a cell, or on a
And we
fire
don't-
alarm, they
we
let
also
Josh out of
don't
the
know.
cell.
Yeah, and we
Maybe.
also don't know who's got the key though. That's a big problem.
Surely they all have to have a set of keys. Why didn't
But
we
is it
ask the
all-
guy that? There's so many questions.
Yeah. Who specifically has the key for Josh's thing though? Is it just the doctor, maybe?
What you do know is that you asked the guy is that he did say they keep a set of keys within. It was at number 5 in the business office. You see the front building, number 5, that right top hand corner. You know that there are keys kept in there. So if they're not on the orderlies themselves, then they would be in there.
Oh, okay. So maybe we don't need her to steal a key. We could just go and through the vents, jump down, grab a key from number 5.
Maybe Augie's whole thing could just be a big distraction. He could blow up the boiler and just cause havoc while everyone else is doing the thing.
It's like Kieran's dream, I swear to God.
Insurgent Oggy.
Yeah. You could get Tala in with Randolph, and then Oggy can blow up the thing and cause all of them to come out.
And then
Whilst
in the
he just goes with
commotion,
the one.
Carla and Randolph go and find Josh and get him out.
Yeah.
Pretty
And then
good.
Joe could pointlessly walk around the vents.
I don't know what Augie's escape plan is, but he'll work it out.
And drive away.
I think it's also important to look through the list of places on the map. It might give you some ideas. I'm looking through now, and it's giving me ideas. So
Bakery, set it on fire. Lavatory, dumbwaiter. So that number 5 is business office, which is where the keys are kept. But it borders on what I can't. Is that what's the little room? Is it like a straight shot from the central corridor down a little corridor to the business office?
So the business office, the one I'm looking at, is
Plan of the hospital.
Yeah, plan of the hospital, the sort of yellowy one.
Yeah.
I can see that front building right at the front, the bottom.
Yeah.
The top right room was the one he was referring to.
Yeah.
So that would.
But my question is, 1 is that ground floor.
Yes.
And 2, do you have to go through another room to go into that room?
It certainly looks like it from the map. But there's also a set of an exit on the right. You can see there with a set of stairs going down. So it's not far from that.
And across across that kind of entrance from that is number 3, which is the superintendent's office. Is the superintendent Dr. Berger?
Yes.
Maybe
You've been to
Augie
that office.
Well, as a distraction, he could try and find where Dr. Berger is. If he's in his office, then he can kind of keep him indisposed in multiple ways. And then that takes out the keystone to all the coordination. And then take him hostage, and then just keep him hostage while the rest of you do their thing, and then
everybody stay calm and
nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. So
the funniest
summary?
part of our thinking about our plan is that we have the potential wardstone or whatever. But the funniest part is going to be when we're like, yeah, plan's going really well. Joe's crawling through the vents, and oh, what's that at the end of the vent, Joe? Drip, drip, drip. Something staring at you or
God.
whatever. And then
Yeah.
the plan just goes to shit immediately because there's
Yeah.
supernatural crazy shit going on.
I think we have to plan for the plan to
Literally.
go to shit.
Yeah, and it will, because most of the rolls are failures.
Yep. So we
Um,
should have like a fallback. Like if your element of the plan goes to shit, where are you trying to get to?
I think
Where's
if
our
I,
like?
I mean, if
rally
Joe
point?
gets caught in the vents, I mean, he's caught. You know, he's kind of.
It's just a janitor with
kinda-
a broom poking the vents.
Yeah.
Get out of there, you damn weirdo!
Yeah, but there's a patient in the vents. Get him out. So I mean, you know, it's not gonna be good.
Yep.
But and if Tala fails to like get away from this orderly and overpower them, then she's just a
Mhm.
patient now as well.
Mhm.
And if Oggy gets, if like
Shoot
all
out.
the orderlies coming after him, he's basically fucked as well.
Yeah, it could very quickly get to a point where Oggy's forced to choose between like giving up or just murdering people. All right, bring Josh to me. I've got a gun. Put down the gun, or we're gonna take you. No.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang. Oh fuck.
Killed all the orderlies. Oh dear.
Yep.
We could try and find Andrew, see if he'll like help us. Like he might know his way around a bit better as well.
Yeah, that's something we haven't tapped into yet.
And then if we get him on our side, maybe he can help overpower or some orderlies, maybe.
That was
Don't
that
ha-
was
don't
nothing I
have
was thinking of,
crazies.
is if we could start a fucking prison riot, an asylum rebellion.
Yeah. If we incite that there's a monster nearby, they all been drawing it. You could be
Yeah.
like, "It's coming," you know. And that could be the major distraction because everyone would just be like rioting, basically.
Yeah. Josh is in J block, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't care about that whole other side of.
I feel like
Because you could start a fire. I'm back on the fire now. Or you could start something in A block to bring people over towards A block, the opposite side.
Just Oggy's part of the plan. Distract.
okay.
Instead of paying those guys to fix the rock, we should have just paid them to make us a killdozer, concrete, fucking driven it through J block. Okay. The best I felt
hard.
about the plan, I think, was Tala's sleight of hand, because that's actually a good a good roll.
Yeah, and we can always have backup with that particular one as well. Because if Joe is climbing through the things, he can just aim to go to number 5 and get another pair of keys.
That's
So if
true.
Tala fails,
Then we
then
have
she-
redundancy.
yeah, and becomes a patient,
Yeah.
then you got Plan B. Noisy Joe through the vents, or what's Randy gonna be doing once she's in?
Once she's in, it depends on whether we want to use Randy for distraction or whether we want to use Randy as just a runner to go between places or being ready to react to stuff. It's like a flexible position. I don't know. There was the other idea of using the laundry room to grab some like clothes so Randy could look like an orderly and try and fast stalk his way through.
Well, you could do that anyway, and then bring Tala in without having to be like, "Oh, she's crazy, take her in yourself," sort of thing. You could do that anyway and be like,
But then she's not
Wow.
getting keys. If
"True,"
she's not pickpocketing keys off me.
unless you pass them on to another one.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe Randy acts as like a watcher for Tala.
Yeah. You could be like, oh, I need your help, mate. Come give me. And then you've
Yeah,
got two people.
She's a feisty one.
Yeah. And then you got two people handling her.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
and
I like that.
handling the orderly guy. That's if they fall for the fact that you're not a staff member.
Well, that is the thing, is we've been here before.
Yeah.
So we need like a proper disguise. Randy's gonna go bald.
Like,
Augie
how well
must
do they
be
know their
known.
staff? Yeah, probably. Joe's the most average looking. Maybe he can get away with it.
I will remind you there is a disguise skill, which Randy has 5 in.
Hey!
Hey, let me have a look.
Augie also has 5.
I think that's the
We
base.
don't... Oh, yeah, I got 5 base.
Yeah, you've all got the base.
Oh god.
I do have good stealth. Randy has 60 stealth.
So you
pretty
could
good.
try and avoid notice altogether.
I've got 20.
Oh, maybe Randy should be in the vents then.
Yeah. Sliver his way through the vents. Joe Brown, give you a map.
Ah, oh no. We need someone with a stealth and a navigate skill.
You could both go through the vents. Joe Brown be the navigator. And Randy could...
Oh, we need it to be modern day and we can have like an earpiece.
Yeah.
Get walkie-talkies. Except that's really loud.
Yeah, super loud. Oh, it's hard.
Cup on a string.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Augie does need to be in a position where if it does all go to hell, he can use the gun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to be ready to use force. Force is the plan B or
Oh,
C of
no.
every situation.
I feel like we're just gonna get arrested if we use force, though, you know?
Well, Augie might.
Yeah.
Then we get to break Augie out. That's be the next. next plan.
I mean, Joe Brown, I guess he doesn't need to come in with you. He can just be like, write you a little map, like go right, go left, go right at this point. sort of
That's
thing,
true. That's cool.
You know?
Yeah. I've got my lighter so I can look at it in the vents.
Yeah.
Or matches or whatever I'd have.
And then, well, the disguise thing. But Joe Brown has got such an average face. You never know. He might get away with being an orderly and help Tana.
I would definitely give you a bonus die for his average face to blend in with the disguise skill.
Oh yeah.
Bear in mind that like 5% is like it's like getting a natural 20.
Yeah, it's pretty low. It's pretty damn low.
But with the bonus
Hang on.
die, that does potentially add sort of, you know, a potential,
Yeah.
you know, let's say doubles that chance.
I've got a
Super
good
hard.
jump skill.
Nice. That'll jump you down from the vents.
That's true, yeah.
Don't know.
So really, if we can get the keys from the business office and get them to, and Randy can get into the vents without being seen or heard, and with the keys, he can get to J Block and let Josh out
Yeah.
without any of the other stuff needing to happen.
Yeah. So maybe we just try and. So maybe it's better if we just try and draw the orderlies to the other side of the block somehow.
Yeah.
Cause a ruckus. You know?
Augie's job, a ruckus.
Yeah.
I like Oggy distracting Burger though.
Yeah, I like that. Oggy distracts Burger. Joe and Sala.
I don't know why that sentence is funny.
Oggy eats a burger. What if the business office is locked? Is there a lock picking skill? Is that sleight of
I
hand?
believe so. I think it might be separate to Locksmith,
Oh
who
shit.
Randy's got a 1 in.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I want to
Then
make
you
use
gotta
of
beat up an
Tala's
orderly.
sleight of hand. Because
Well, we could do both. Like we said, like
Which
even Joe
stealth
was
does
gonna do
Tala
both. We
have?
could do
So
both.
like, She has got 20. Yeah.
Well, as you know, you can also just admit yourself into it, like Josh did. So Tyler could just walk up and be like, "Hey, I'm crazy. Take me in."
I'm crazy.
It's true.
And then depends if like 2 people take her away, she might be buggered. If 1, then then she might be all right. She can overpower potentially. She's quite strong. Or just sleight of hand, and then they leave her alone with the keys.
If we know when they change guard as well,
What?
there
what
might be a
about
decent chance of us getting into the business office and getting keys away.
if you're all doing your thing, Augie could go with the disc right into Burger's office and be like, "Hey."
The power of
the-
Christ compels you.
Well, no, but the disc will definitely get him in because they'll be like, "Oh fuck, he's got the disc," and then
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. The disc could be
Well-
a good catalyst.
Yeah, and the guy, and he was already annoyed that it was broken, wasn't it? So he might be like, "Oh, you've got it back and it's fixed," you know.
Mm.
But probably not, because evil now.
So is it going to be simultaneously Oggy confronting Burger with the disc, Tala getting herself admitted, or just trying? We just need the keys. She doesn't need to get admitted.
It's
What
more
if
just,
she gets admitted and they say, right, we're going to put you on A block?
then she can be like, "I'm gonna kill myself," and they'll put her on a different one.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Maybe.
If there's any way for her to I just need a keys. Just get Randy keys, and I think we're
Yeah,
spot.
it's more if that door is locked though, then you're buggered. And that's what I plan to with Tala. It's quite good.
Mm.
And if we're planning for failure, then having 2 options of getting keys is pretty good.
But is her getting keys by being admitted? Or could she get keys by chatting up a guard or slightly?
Yeah.
Another
you
thing
could
I
do-
want to add is remember your luck.
I've got luck here. I'm
My
good
luck's
at luck.
fucking terrible.
What's what I mean? So some people
Yeah.
might be more lucky, the chance the door might be unlocked. But then if Randy
Ah.
tries to sneak in there and he gets a luck check and it's really bad, it might be locked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why you got to bring Joe. Yeah. I mean, if we draw the orderlies outside with a I don't know, somehow, and then Tana can chat them up outside, or just do the classic, bump shoulder. Oops, sorry.
Oh, sleight of
Grab your
handing.
keys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Any way to disrupt their routine seems really good to me.
Yeah, and
Fire
Tana's
alarm.
got quite good luck, hasn't she? So if she fails the sleight of hand, she can use
Yeah,
some of that
that's
luck
true.
to grab the key. So we can almost guarantee some keys from Tala if we can draw
Mhm.
them out.
She's also much less likely to fumble because when you've got a skill above 50, your fumble is only on a 99 or 100
Yep,
or whatever.
yep.
99 or 100. Rather than if you've got lower than 50, it's 96 and above.
So I think Tala chatting up a guard and stealing the key is our best chance of getting a key.
Yep. Agree.
And then it's just how to get in. I guess then we could do the distraction and Tala could sneak through the vents to Josh's bit. Or someone
Well-
can.
Well, Tala's stealth was like 20, right?
20, yeah.
Or what Randy can then, with good stuff.
It's 60%. 60% of
Yeah.
the time, every time.
And then he doesn't need to worry about the door being locked. Because
Yeah.
he's got the key.
Yeah.
This is sounding better.
Yeah, it is sounding better. Also,
Yeah,
with Randy being quite good at fast talking as well, if he does get caught, he can be like, I'm here to repair the vents, or whatever the fuck. come
Yeah,
up with,
yeah,
but-
yeah. You can go get a repairman's suit or whatever from the whatever. I'm so down. I have everything in my trunk. I've definitely got a repair suit.
So, okay. So, fire alarm. We don't know if/where a fire alarm lever is.
Depends how common they are. I don't know how common they would be in 90s.
They would 100% have them in a place like a state hospital. Very
Yeah, but
important.
like, how many would there be? Would there be like one a room, one every other room, or whatever?
There must be one in Burger's office at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually,
I
can we see
imagine
if
one
we can
behind
remember?
the reception desk.
And
Oh
actually,
yeah,
can we
you could
do
see if you could
any
remember.
rolls
Yeah.
now to see if we remembered we saw any
Yeah,
while we were
absolutely.
wandering around.
Roll me spot hidden checks. Tala can get a bonus die.
Oh shit!
Oh, we're fucking smashing it.
Hard success. I want to see what Tala gets though, because she was the one who walked down the wards. None of the else did.
Let's go, Tyler.
Failing.
No.
And the same with the bonus die.
The fires.
Yeah, I'll give you the hard success. Would have noticed one in the main reception area.
Oh shit!
Nice. That's pretty good though. You could just wander in.
It depends. If someone sees him, just pull it. They're just gonna undo it or whatever.
Then
Yeah,
he's
but
got
he
to
could-
fight him off.
But he could act. He could act.
If everybody
crazy.
stays calm.
He could act crazy with the disc, and be like,
Yeah.
and just try pretend that he's not giving up for a while, just so the alarm can keep going off, and then
That's true.
acquiesce and be like, "Tell the burger."
That's
got the
very
disc.
true.
Yeah. Joe can just sit in his car and wait for everyone to escape.
Because with a fire alarm, people are going to go to their nearest exit. So Tala could be hanging about near the exit to like J Ward or whatever, because it's got an exit straight from the building. So if an orderly comes, and then you're more likely to be guaranteed that you're getting a set of keys that will work for J Ward cells or what have you.
Well, if we know when they're switching guard anyway, you can just be like, well, this person's coming in. They're going to swap the keys at this point.
That's true. Well, then we don't need the fire alarm, or like we don't. Yeah. There's so many options.
You could. I mean, they probably know each other's staff, but. Yeah.
We do know when they change shift. So Tala
Yeah.
could just be outside J Ward or wherever they're going to come in and be like, "Oh, excuse me, sir, can you help me? I'm so lost." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
While
Exactly,
the fire alarm's going off, and then be like, "I don't know where to go." Blah blah blah.
Yeah. True.
I'm a guest. I'm a visitor, or whatever.
And then Randy can blink past and pick up the keys and
get in the
head
vents.
in. Get in the vent.
What's Joe gonna be doing? How can Joe help at this point? Because he's just gonna be wandering around. I mean, he could just be the getaway guy. But
He might be backup guy. He might be hanging about outside with a pistol in his pocket, ready to fucking go if things turn sideways, which they inevitably will.
Yeah, could go wait out the other exit where you're gonna bring Josh.
Yeah. Bundle him into the car, drive off, leave Oggy to his own devices.
Yeah. We could bring a walkie-talkie and then only use it when you've got Josh and be like, "Quick, Joe, bring the car." You know.
Yeah, having signals is a good idea. Signals are important.
The only thing is, once you've got Josh, once you've got in the car, once you've left, saying it all goes to plan, and then
walkie-talkies apparently were invented in 1937.
They do not exist then.
Damn it.
But you can have signals. People signaled each other before then.
Yeah.
Like a mirror, flash a mirror.
A whistle.
A whistle.
A torch, right? You can have little torches.
Yeah,
There's torches, right?
Yeah, it's
Flash
definitely flashlights, yeah.
Flash it from the window or something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Three flash is good, 2 flash is bad, or whatever. 3 flashes,
Yeah.
get in here with the gun, or whatever
Yeah.
signals we come up with.
Sounds good. The only thing then is Oggy's stuck in the office with Dr. Berger. How
Well,
does he get
part
out?
of wanting Oggy to distract Dr. Berger was to get the keys from the business office, but if getting the keys from the business office isn't our primary key grabbing thing, then we don't need Oggy doing that.
Yeah. So what does Oggy do?
If our main thing is Carla grabbing keys off an orderly outside J block or whatever,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we can all be
So
kind of
Audley
nearby.
grabs keys. Yeah. So Tyler grabs keys off an orderly with a sleight of hand, almost guaranteed to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Randy slips into the vents to go and free Josh with
Through a
some
different
navigation help
entrance, I
from
guess.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Joe, Tala, and Oggy are just waiting as backup outside
Yeah.
the
Close to J block, yeah. Like ready
yeah
to burst in if they need to or whatever.
yeah. So
Because
you're
if the guy goes to go back in and needs his keys, he's going to be like, "My keys are gone,"
yeah.
and
Maybe
then
we can just grab him.
they go into lockdown or whatever.
Yeah. God, that relies a lot on Randy getting some good rolls.
Yeah, I have no luck at all. And my
But
stealth
also,
is 60.
but if you can send a signal, being like, "Oh, badness," or if Joe's got quite good listening, he can listen in to whatever someone is saying. If he goes and sits inside, maybe reception, he can hear people talking, whispering, or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I mean, the
potentially.
reception's very far away from J block.
True. Maybe you can listen, sit outside of the office, but people might see him do that.
I'm just hanging out.
Hanging out outside this office, chilling. You know, he blends in. He's an average guy.
He could pretend someone's ordered a taxi, and that's why he had to
Oh yeah,
wait around.
yeah.
Or
That's true. Yeah. So it relies a lot on Randy. I think that plan.
once Randy, okay. So let's say last thing. Let's say the plan as we've described it now works. Tala gets keys from Guy, gives keys to Randy. Randy takes a nearby entrance, gets into the vents or whatever, stealthy, gets to Josh's cell,
Mm-hmm.
opens the cell. Orderlies are currently distracted. I have keys, so I can just take Josh and head straight out the fucking front door.
Yep.
Because at that, we're not gonna. There is no. What's our aim for the end goal? Is it to get Josh out and then people will be angry or chasing after us or whatever? Or are we trying to do this like they don't even know he's gone? There's a Josh-shaped lump in his bed and there's the orderlies
Yeah.
patrol past or whatever.
I don't think there's a negative to having it just a Josh-shaped hole, you know. But we could also try and put back the thing in the amphitheater, see if that makes any difference at all.
Mm-hmm.
As well, we could maybe do that first. I think it's separate from the main building, right?
Yes, it is. So the amphitheatre is next to the lake, which is off to the west of J block,
Yeah. So maybe we can do that first,
down
and
the
then,
hill slightly.
and then try and. I mean, how are we distracting the orderlies? Are we still doing the fire alarm thing? Because then we need less people out there for backup.
I like the fire alarm.
Yeah.
But you could also do the boiler house.
Mm-hmm.
Boiler houses will last longer, and it might not have any direct confrontation.
The only thing is, if you draw them outside while we're trying to escape with Josh, they're just going to look over and be like, they're escaping. Because they're outside.
Yeah.
I also don't know if orderlies go to the boiler house, do they? Wouldn't they have like an engineer guy or whatever? They do.
It's more just because there's an explosion. Everyone will be like, what the fuck was that? And they go outside.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, do we want them outside if we're going to be escaping with Josh? Because they could just look over and see. which would also be an issue if we raise the fire alarm.
We should have asked where the fire assembly point is.
Yep.
Oh, lordy love us. I think we've got the shape, the vague
Yeah.
jelly-like
Yeah.
shape of a plan.
Okay.
Gist,
Together.
yeah.
Well, I encourage you all to think about it over the course of next week. We'll probably play next Thursday. 'Cause I'm running with my other group on the 13th, but I think I've got the 14th we can do. So 14th should be doable.
Cool.
So yeah, I encourage you all to think about your plans, put it in the chat. Talk about it outside the game. I think it's good. I've really enjoyed listening to your plan. Honestly, I actually think this is the most different kind of TTRPG stuff I've seen from us as a group in ages. I think it's nice. It's very different. It's very different. You get to actually make a proper plan and then try and execute it, rather than, I think D&D, unfortunately, is you're fighting monsters, so you end up often just being like breach because you're gonna fight something. But in Cthulhu, you get into a fight, you might fucking die. Yeah, so
Yep. God, yeah. And Randy's got like reduced health at the moment, hasn't he? What hit points has he got right now?
I think he's on 7.
Okay, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 11.
Oh, okay. I've got 8 out of 10.
I will remind you, if you take, I think it's more than 5 damage, maybe, I can't remember exactly, or whatever your major wound threshold is, that you can immediately go unconscious and start dying.
Is that in one hit?
Oh, God.
Yes, in one hit.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard making plans.
It makes me think of that Blades in the Dark system,
100%.
where you have the you play in that system. We would have we would have gone in to do this what is essentially a heist to get Josh out. And I think, correct me, I know Kieran, you read the rules for it or some of it.
Yeah.
At like different points when you come up against an obstacle, you like spend a thing to be like, oh yes, we planned for this by having blah 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 blah. And, yeah. Flashback like fucking Ocean's 11 stuff.
God, it makes me really want to play it, to be honest.
I think heist stuff is super fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Super fun. Cool.
Awesome. Well, we'll end the session there for today.
I look forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, God,
So do I.
I'm worried.
That was fun. It was nice getting
Super
back to
fun.
Cthulhu.
Thank you, Natalie.
That's okay. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Have a lovely evening, everybody.
Yes, and all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.